Our aim for DAOSA has always been to produce quality sparkling wine. We are not trying to make a pale copy of champagne. We're trying to make Piccadilly Valley sparkling wine. DAOSA started out of just a small project making wines from a vineyard that we own in Piccadilly Valley. In 2009, Lucie and I decided to make a sparkling wine from the Chardonnay grapes, and this was our first Blanc de Blanc. The quality was so good that we decided to actually pursue and make some more. It was only a few years later, in 2016, that an opportunity arose to manage another vineyard in the village of Summertown, planted in 1980 with Pinot Noir and Chardonnay grapes. Piccadilly Valley is a great region to fully express the potential of Pinot Noir, Chardonnay and Pinot Meunier. We have very good soils because our soils are very old, very ancient, and we've got lots of regions with perfect slopes for viticulture. The vineyards are high altitude and climate is cooler than Burgundy with a higher winter rainfall. So we are here in our home vineyard, which is all Chardonnay, planted in '95 by my father. It was planted for Crozer Sparkling. It was the first Chardonnay vineyard planted in Australia with French clones. So here we are in the rows of the clone 76. Then we have also clones 95, 96 and 277. And those clones have been selected in Burgundy because they ripen a bit earlier, which allows us to harvest them early and having already some really nice, ripe, elegant flavors for the production of world-class sparkling wine. We recently planted 2 more blocks on close spacing designs of 1.5 meter by 1.5 meter. A Chardonnay block below the old block in 2020 with cuttings from the Tapanapatiers Chardonnay vineyard, and a Pinot Noir block on the south-facing slope next to the old block in 2023. Beyond and including the Bizot vineyard, we manage 16 blocks of Chardonnay, 17 blocks of Pinot Noir, and 2 blocks of Pinot Meunier. When we have a cool season, we tend to leave the grapes for a bit longer for optimal flavor ripeness. When we have a warmer season, we tend to have more flavor more quickly in the grapes, and we tend to harvest a bit earlier. But we always harvest on flavor, never on acid or alcohol level or anything else. We have devised our own traditional method for sparkling wine production, which we call Method Classic or MC. Our pledge is to hand harvest and whole bunch press all of our fruit with alcoholic and malolactic fermentation in tank or old French oak barrels, followed by tirage with yeast in bottle and second fermentation in bottle. The tirage wines are then aged on lees in bottle for at least 15 months before disgorging with low dosage. Our DAOSA Natural Reserve, being a blend of Pinot Noir mostly with Chardonnay and Pinot Meunier, always has a very strong Pinot Noir influence. And we also have the influence from the reserve wines, which represent at least 15%, which give a lot of complexity to the wine. The acidity is not too high, so it's quite balanced, which means we don't have to put too much dosage when we disgorge. Our DAOSA Rosé is made from Pinot Meunier mostly, and then Pinot Noir, so generally we use 60% Pinot Meunier, which has been fermented in tank, not in oak. And that wine is, for us, is a way to show what the Pinot varieties can do when they made a sparkling wine. So it's almost like a Blanc de Noir. Obviously, it's a rosé. The wine is beautifully savory, almost saline in a sense, with lots of beautiful Pinot Meunier characters. Pinot Meunier is a variety that excels when the wine is young. It displays a lot of fresh fruit characters and elegance. Our first vintage was 2020 and we've been making it ever since. Our DAOSA Blanc de Blanc is a full expression of Piccadilly Valley Chardonnay as a sparkling wine. It's a wine that's aged for a very long time on lees, for 40 months. And that means that the wine has a lot of toastiness, a lot of yeasty characters, and has a potential to age for a very long time. Our 2009 vintage of the Blanc de Blanc, we still have. We taste it regularly, and every time we just realize the huge potential that the Piccadilly Valley has for high-end sparkling wine production. We make a very unique sparkling wine, and we make wines that really can match the best in the world, but with their own identity and their own characters.